I've been sent the full video of the police attack in Manchester in the airport, and I think it's important to recognise it doesn't really matter. Well, it does matter. It matters very significantly what the person who was being arrested might have done, or might have been alleged to have done, and that is one issue. But the behaviour of the police in this particular instance is reprehensible, and it's not just one person, but two people who are assaulted by the police. And in the middle of this, there's an older woman who looks completely shocked and confused by what's happening. And I want to play you the video first, and then I'm going to talk a little bit more about it, if you don't mind. The bits of the frames of the video have been seen, but they've been heavily blurred, and I don't think the level of atrocity is fully understood without seeing what was done. So do feel free to look away for the next few minutes if this offends you, and it is offensive. But I think the actual footage needs to be seen.
Oh shit! Oh, move back! Move back! Move back! Move back! Move back! Stop kicking people! You don't come there! Why are you taking them? Oh shit! Shit! Leave them! Move back! Shut up! Move back! Hey! Move back! Move back! Move back! Stay! Move back! Move back! Oi! Oi! Shut up! Move back!
This, I hope you agree, this is about violence and the abuse of power, and that is unacceptable. And our communities need to commit to reform. We need to reform practices within law enforcement to prevent future occurrences, and we mustn't qualify this condemnation now with a reference to whatever these individuals may or may not have done. And because the example of this brutality is what is demonstrated. This incident involves a policeman beating a man suspected of assault, especially at a point in public. The issue is that it's in public, and while I would condemn assault in private as well, there's this added dimension that this was witnessed, and therefore many more people were traumatized by the experience of seeing this. There is, in addition, of course, the fact that it was filmed as well. That's a third point. And I think there's no question that this must be condemned from both a legal point of view and an ethical point of view. The police officers that we've got are entrusted with the responsibility of enforcing law, protecting ordinary people, upholding public order. They're granted significant authority, which they hold on trust. And this includes the use of force when necessary to fulfill their duties. However, this authority is regulated by strict legal and ethical standards to prevent abuse and ensure the rights of individuals and the appearance of justice is respected. In this case, the police beating a suspect, the footage shows a police officer or police officers using excessive physical force on a man who was suspected of assault, who was already on the ground. The suspect was tasered, which in itself is a significant use of force, and then further subjected to physical beating by the officers. The use of force by police is governed by laws, by regulations that emphasize proportionality and accountability, and officers are trained in the minimum amount of force required to manage a situation and to de-escalate where possible. This exacerbated the problem. So this is about the rule of law, it's about human rights, it's about the dignity of people who are in the process of being arrested, innocent until proven guilty, and so on. The use of excessive force violates the fundamental principles of dignity, causing unnecessary physical and psychological harm not only to the person who's being beaten but to those people who are witnessing it. Proportionality and necessity. The police action should be proportional to the threat posed, and in this case the use of the taser already represents a high level of force intended to subdue the suspect. An additional physical beating while the suspect was on the floor was disproportionate, especially if the suspect was already essentially incapacitated. Police officers must be held accountable for their actions, and failure to condemn and address such behaviour leads to a culture of impunity and damages our the image of law. It damages the image of the police in our society. And so I don't think the answer in this case is to point to what happened before. The answer is to point to this and say this must never happen again, because this is a betrayal of public trust. And it's an abuse of power, and therefore it's about ethical standards as well as legal issues. And you can't turn around and say, oh well, we've got to know all the facts before we make a judgment. No, we don't have to know all the facts. We simply have to see this video. We simply have to see a policeman kicking a person who has been tasered and is on the floor. That is enough, I'm afraid. And that is too much. And it doesn't matter, really, from that point of view, what the person who is on the floor may or may not have done. He may be guilty of heinous crimes. He may be innocent. But that is not the issue. The issue is the abusive use of force by the police. I'd be really interested to know your thoughts on this. But as I say, looking at the wider context of this is not the issue. The issue is what is on the footage, and the issue is police violence and excessive force.